Hey friends, how's it going today? That's fair. Ooh, where are my manners? Sorry about that. Here's some English breakfast tea for you. There you go. So I recently had somebody ask me a question about working with a chronic illness, but from an HR perspective. They asked, coming from an HR perspective, what policies or practices do you think need to be implemented for a company to be a supportive and sustainable environment for you to work in with your chronic illness? If employees, especially employees who are neurodiverse or chronically ill, if their worth was evaluated more on the work that they produced than the amount of hours in seat, I think that would be really helpful, because I think that I am worth more if you look at what I'm just able to do. But if it's down to the amount of meetings I can attend and the amount of hours I can be seen in an office, if that is what my value is going to be based on, then yeah, I'm not going to be seen as worth much. And the fact that sometimes I need to take a 1 or 2 week break just to rest, recover, get back to 100% or 90% or whatever. And while most organizations offer PTO, it's not enough for somebody with a chronic illness, and then that could be seen as, I don't know, I don't see companies doing that. I don't see it being in their best interests from their perspective to make those accommodations, which is why what I think would be helpful would be some sort of government-led program that would give chronically ill people or neurodiverse people, kind of like how students got an IEP when they were in schools. I think that there should be a WAP, a workplace accommodation program, or workplace accommodation plan. And that would not be federally mandated necessarily, but if it was incentivized. So if a company was willing to hire, or was willing to help, or was willing to have their employee have a workplace accommodation plan, if there were financial incentives in place to help cover that cost. I don't know that side of it, so I can't speak to it. This might be completely unrealistic. And the only reason why I was thinking of it being a government program is because I don't see businesses willingly doing something like this. Not overall. Like where I work, I'm very lucky that they are doing their best to help and accommodate me. But sometimes I don't know what accommodations I need because I'm not an expert, and I feel like it would need to be not just one person. It would need to be like a meeting with the various people in that person's care team. Like, I would love it if I could get all of the people in my care team in one room together to discuss, okay, what accommodations should I actually be looking for from the perspective of the lupus and the issues with my spine and the migraines and the autism and the ADHD and all of that. Whereas when putting it all on me to come up with that plan is very frustrating and very difficult. And that is me, as somebody who likes to research, who has a background in education, creating lesson plans. If somebody doesn't have that kind of background, they're even at less of an advantage to do that sort of thing. Anyway, and then it being a third party, that's less risk of an employer accusing the employee of, making it up because a third party saying, no, we also agree this is what this person needs. I think it would protect the employee and the employer. And if it's an incentive, then, companies still have a choice, even though I think that looking out for other people should be something we all do. And then I think part of the problem is just the way we're set up. Our world is not set up to accommodate people who don't fit the cookie cutter approach and who aren't able to just start their own company. There are a number of people who have these struggles and they wrote the right book or they built their own company or whatever. But in my position, actually, I think I could be that kind of person who wrote the book, but to write a book while I'm trying to work and take care of my health is really hard for me to do. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know enough about HR. I don't know enough about running a business from a large business perspective to give what I feel like is an appropriate thing. All I know is the way we approach work right now, the way we approach employment, even what little we do for people with disabilities, mental health struggles, I feel like it's not enough. I feel like there's too many people who do have something to offer, but because they can't work 60 hours a week, they lose out on that ability to make a contribution to society and to provide for themselves and their families. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know what you think. This is something that I don't really have a full answer to. So yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Alright friends, I'm going to get back to writing. And for your next adventure, I'll miss you. Cheers.